with Splint's Friends and Foes program.
You can call your friends all you want.
And we'll charge it to your foes.
It's that simple,
whether it be your ex-wife or your boss. Your abilities get paid for you.
By the people you hate the most. Give us a list of your friends and foes.
And we'll take care of the rest.
Splint, where you get revenge
and savings at the same time.
Here at Northwest Airlines, you can fly cheaper than any other airline in the industry. We've got the oldest planes in the industry. That makes it cheaper. And we've also gone to the trouble of bilking your local government out of hundreds of millions of dollars. This also makes your airfare cheaper. Remember, Northwest Airlines, the cheapest way to fly.
Welcome back to Truth Quest. My name is Aaron Moriarity. I will be your host, and we're going on a quest for truth together. Here we are again, friends. Happy New Year. Gonna pop that cork. Well, I don't drink alcoholic beverages. I got over that many years ago and haven't looked back, but I don't claim to think that everyone should do everything like me, so go ahead and celebrate however you want to celebrate. That's the way most people do. So well, happy New Year. And it's also my little brother's birthday. Happy birthday, Craig. Yes, his birthday is today. Isn't that wild? Well, alrighty then. I hope you're all having a wonderful New Year's Eve, and I'm so glad that you decided to join us here on Truth Quest with Aaron Moriarty, because you could be doing so many other things. I mean, I know there's no more Dick Clark, but they got reruns, So we're there's a lot of other shows you could be at. So thank you for coming here. I don't have anything that's going to drop or anything like that. We're not going to go till midnight, so that'll be up to you to find some other show, maybe, or whatever kind of show you can make yourself. Because everyone's making their own show these days. And isn't that groovy? Groovy like a record, you might even say. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm feeling rather stylish in one of my new shirts. It's a little tight, but it stretches. And, I'm awfully glad I've been working out lately. Of course, I've been working out. If you've been watching the program, we did a little mini webinar. Free webinar where I like to share knowledge and through these free webinars. And it's a way to go from flabs to abs in seconds. You can do this full body Truth Quest workout, full body, in seconds a day. It's called Suck It In and Flex. Suck it in and flex. Oh, yeah. It makes all the difference in the world. The more you do it, the better you will look, even when you're not flexing. How do you like that? Oh, yeah. That's what we do here. Well, I think it's time we start over to the Chatlandia, where all the people are chatting over there. Well, let's go see who's all chatting about over there. And look who's here. Why, it's Weiss123 over on Rumble. That's Catherine Weiss. She's one of our Ultramods. She says, "Hi, Aaron." And then she also says, "I'll be over on YouTube tonight." And then she also says hi to Peggy. "Hi, Peggy." And Peggy's another one of our Ultramods. And then I said, "Hi, Kathy." And then I said, "Okay." Yeah, there seems to be like a lot of trolls and nastiness going on over there on YouTube. So I appreciate mods on all platforms. We get the best mods. And then Kathy says, "Happy New Year, everyone." Isn't that nice? And then she says, hi, Aaron. And then I said over there on YouTube, I said, hi, Kathy. I'm Hot Games and Puzzles on YouTube. You like that? And then I said, hi, Kathy. Wait a minute. No, wait. Okay. Then Kathy says, Happy New Year, everyone. Hey, wait a minute. Didn't she already say that? Oh, she said that on the other one. Oh, I get so confused. Oh, and then she's on the portrait one. Hi, Aaron. On the portrait YouTube. And look who's here. It's our longtime friend, Skylark74 says, greetings, fellow Truth Questers. Then I said, hi, Skylark74. And then Skylark says, hello, Catherine. Hello, Aaron. And then Kathy says, hi, Skylark74. Oh, and look who else is here. It's our good friend, Chronaviewer. And he says, hello, Aaron. Hello, Kathy. Hello, Skylark. Okay, and looks like we get another possible person. I gotta say hi to Chronaviewer. Gotta use the exclamation points while you still can. My keyboard, thank goodness, is still working. Hallelujah! And yeah, so that's that. That is that. And I don't know who this is. Foreign Beauty Inc. Get the freak your glasses off. Whatever that means. Well, my glasses help me to see. They're corrective. Because when I take them off, it's like that. So they're corrective. I could wear my glasses from Lens Crackers because, you know, they're one of my longtime sponsors and they can crack your fine, high-quality eyewear in less than an hour. They're the best. I highly recommend them. Alrighty then. Well, and then Catherine Weiss, Kathy, one of our Ultramods, says, hi, Chronaviewer. And then Skylark says, hello, Chronaviewer. If you are a chrononaut, every year is new. Yeah, that's right. It's the old wave. And Joshua Niece says hi. Hi, Joshua. And some of these people, I'm not sure if they're real people. And Gemma Moore, hello. Hi says hi. Hello. Over there on the portrait YouTube channel. And DPD Palma says hello. Hello. And I said, hi, Chronaviewer. I know Chronaviewer is a real person. And Chronaviewer responds like a real person does. There you go. Alrighty then. Well, what are we going to do today? What are we going to do today? We're going to go over to a crazy little place that we like to call. That's not it. The land of Zuckers, where a Zucker is born every minute. And we kind of like it over there. They got some cool stuff going down over there. And let's go over there right now. Well, look at that on Facebook. There's our show, number 713, full disclosure, Truth Quest with Aaron Moriarty. And there is our little thumbnail tonight. Didn't quite fit into frame, but there you go. And Happy New Year. That was a gig I did many years ago already. It came up on my memories, like 7-year memory. That's why I like Facebook has the memories come up, you know? You go, oh yeah, now I remember that. Oh, and look who's here. Why, it's Buying. Hello, Buying. Good to see you. And so, yeah, that was a casino-themed party put on by a company out here. I believe it was near Oshkosh or in Oshkosh, if I'm remembering correctly. It was a fun gig. Had a good time. Yeah, it's always fun to be Elvis. I mean, it's like the funnest guy you could possibly be. You know, hey, would you like to be Elvis? Yeah. Okay. And look who's here now. It's Darkbrain, another one of our Ultra Mods. Happy New Year, friends, he says. Happy New Year to you too, Darkbrain. That's awesome. I got to say hi over here. Make it official. There you go. All righty then. And Darkbrain says, Happy New Year, friends. Darkbrain says, Happy New Year, friends. Wait a minute. Oh, two Darkbrains. Oh, he's getting around there. Look at that. Skylark says, hello, buying. And then Kathy says, hi, Darkbrain. And then Darkbrain says, hello, Aaron and Catherine. Isn't that nice? And I said, hi, Darkbrain. And Skylark says, hello, Darkbrain. At Darkbrain. And Darkbrain says, hi, Skylark. Hi, Chroniviewer. Hi, buying. And there you go. I think we're all caught up now. That's the Rumble one. We got it also on YouTube. So look at this. Oh, whoa. Look at this. Israel art students working in the towers before 9/11. Right in the actual spot where the airplane would later hit, which they knew where it was going to hit. So what were they doing? Why did they need so many BB-18 explosive fuse holders? Oh, yeah, explosive fuse holders. Interesting choice for an art project. And I noticed something else that's really kind of spooky about this picture, and that is this shadowy image here. And I even took this aside and I tried to lighten that up. I think this person is darkened out for a reason. Might be some sort of known operative, or who knows, someone trying to conceal their identity. Could be. Never know. But it's interesting. Anyway, you know that? It's very interesting. Oh, it just gets worse by the minute. Feds covered up Ohio adoption hub who sold children to Somali sex gangs. Yeah, these Somalis are not very impressive to me. Doesn't seem like we would see too many of them on the Olympics teams, if you know what I mean. I just don't think that they're not very, they're skilled pirates. That's about all they do. They pirate. Now they're pirating us now. It's disgusting. Anyway, it's official. The FBI just foiled another Islamic terror plot for New Year's Eve in Texas. Well, good. I hope they solve all of them, because all you got to do is focus on the Islamic groups, because they're the ones doing all of this. Oh, and the Democratic groups. Yeah, got to keep an eye on them too. And Judy Mikovits, what does she say? Dr. Judy Mikovits, every vaccine since 1986 has been a bioweapon. Vaccination is not immunization. It is sterilization and extermination. Dr. Judy Mikovits. Yes, I agree 100%. We're born with everything we need already in our body. We don't need to inject anything into our body. That's my opinion. It's my opinion. Look at it. Hear no fraud, see no fraud. It was because he's so fond of the tampon. He sticks them in his ear and he just can't hear anything. It's not because he's dumb. It's because he's got like tampons in his ears all the time. Look at that. Yeah. Disgusting. Arrest the guy. How many more? You know, he appoints a guy to a high position and then has that guy kill some lawmakers, including one woman, only Democrat to vote against giving free health care to. Uh-oh. What could that be? Hello?
Hello, today is Darkbrain's birthday.
Oh, today's Darkbrain's birthday. Okay.
Yes, I wanted to let you know.
All right. Well, that's great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. All right. The bad phone. That was Kathy on the bad phone. Taking care of business there. And happy birthday, Dark Brain. My goodness. Happy birthday to every girl and boy. Hope this very special day brings you lots of joy. Hope the birthday presents you get from mom and dad will make this very special day the best you've ever had. Oh yeah, there's the birthday song. That's a song we always sing in our family. Is that the same song you sang? The Bat Phone. Oh yeah, the Bat Phone. And Jay Bying says, how did Minnesota get so retardedly liberal? They've always been liberal, but they've been kind of good liberals. They just went off the deep end. I used to live in Minnesota. I grew up there, and yeah, it's not your parents' Democrat Party anymore, is it? Happy birthday, Dark Brain. Yes. Oh, Catherine, that was nice of you, says Dark Brain. I'm sorry I didn't see that, Dark Brain. And Dark Brain says, that Truth Quest, Aaron already. Thanks, Aaron. Very cool. And Kathy puts this out. Please like and share this video with your friends, family, and social media. Hit the old thumbs up because that helps the algorithm and the algo beat and the algo melody. Oh, yeah. Just like that. And thank you, Kathy, for putting that out there. And Dark Brain says, thanks. Chrono Viewer, thanks, buddy. Yeah. Happy birthday. Birthday. Dark Brain. 4 exclamation points for that. How do you like that? Oh, so special. Oh, yeah. And then I put, happy birthday, Dark Brain. 4 exclamation points. How do you like them apples? You're welcome, says Chrono Viewer. All right. And I want to also take this moment to have everyone keep Andy in your prayers. All right. Oh, I run the daycare now. Yeah. Yeah, Somalia. So it was Obama that dropped the first big load of Somalis in Minnesota to create Ilhan Omar's domain. What was he thinking? Let's just find the stupidest people on the planet and just flood Minnesota so we can control all of the elections from then on. We'll have these people. Oh my goodness. You can't even, man, so weird. And then here is something put out by Lures and Laughs. I don't know about you, but I've decided 2026 is going to be absolutely incredible. Look at that. I think so too. Absolutely incredible. And you know what? Your thoughts have a lot to do with your outcomes. So if you think it'll happen, it'll happen. Right? It goes both ways. Oh, and what's this? Cameron Grayson, Facebook Conservatives, put this out. Let's see. Christiana Aguilo News. The trans killer who murdered 3 9-year-olds and 3 staff members at a Christian school was targeting Christians and white children, according to newly released notes from Audrey Hale. Yeah. Yep. So it was a deliberate attack, and because she hates white people and she hates a religion. So, well, maybe the drugs they had you on made you hate everything, and that had something to do with it, huh? And it's just a shame they kept this from us for so long, and it's probably not even all of it. So there you go. She did it That's what she did. Oh, here's the daycare owners. Oh, fine, upstanding people, don't you think? I think, some of these people, they're missing a big market that they could legitimately make money at. And that is just using their faces for hideous Halloween masks or Halloween decorations. I mean, they're pretty scary looking. Think about it. They could be making money the real way by using their unusual looks to their advantage. Do you think? Oh yeah, did you hear that too, Dark Brain? Did you see that the Quality Leering Center was broken into? I think that was a different one, but yeah, one of the ones they went to. Only thing they stole was their records. Yeah, imagine that. Oh gee, it must be those darn racist MAGA people. They want it to be a fraud so bad they just stole everything, and now they're going to change everything and make it look bad. And that's because they're racist. Oh man, it's not going to work this time. People are, but to the news isn't even covering it. It's so bizarre. Of course, we've come to learn that, haven't we? Yeah. And Skylark says, did Andrew Bishago ever work with Sean David Morton? I think that he did. The two narratives are very similar in that both claimed to have worked for a secret program that created time and space portals. I'm not sure totally about that. It's a good question. And JP just saying says, many blessings, health, wealth, protection, and love to all in the new year. Well, thank you very much, JP. That's awesome. And Skylark says, Sean David Morton wrote the Sands of Time series of novels which were published as science fiction, but which he claimed were based on real events. Okay. Sometimes they have to do that. Those recessive genes can catch up to you quickly. Yeah. Yeah, they keep coming at you. Wow. But don't you think Halloween posters, scary people? Oh, daycare owners in Minnesota with no clients. Oh, what? Us? We didn't do anything wrong. We filled out paperwork and we got money. What's wrong? What's wrong with that? It's the American way. We're succeeding. Yeah, it's the American dream, man. Come on now. Don't spoil our dream. Oh, here's some more tip from an Iranian, from anyone that doesn't live in the Middle East. She always gives good, solid advice. Listen to this.
Iranian here with another pro tip for anyone who's not from the Middle East. No one in the Middle East actually blocks intersections to pray in the streets and yell Allahu Akbar. The reason that they do it in your countries is because they're trying to assert their religious dominance over you and claim your country and turn it into Sharia law. Now you know. Iranian here.
Now you know. Yeah, they're trying to show religious dominance. That's why you need to make noise when you see that crap happening in your town. Make noise. Oh, did you know that Wally and the Beav were Ford fans? They even were in a commercial. I think we might have shown this on a past episode, but here it is again. If you wanted to find it again, here it is. Your search is over.
Hey, Wally, look!
Yeah. New Fords. 2 whole truckloads of them.
Real neat, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, Wally, how'd they get him off of there?
Well, you see, Beaver, what they do is, they got this, oh, heck, I don't know.
Well, I don't know either. Let's go find out, huh, Wally? Now, which one's a Ford, Wally?
They're all Fords.
How come they got so many different kinds?
Well, why not? There's all kinds of different people and Different kinds need different Fords. Understand?
Yeah, I guess so. But boy, they sure are neat.
They sure are, Beaver. This is the new Ford Galaxy with a new kind of classic elegance and a new world of built-for-people comfort. Here is proof that the 1960 Fords are the finest Fords of a lifetime. And here's more proof. The Starliner, a Ford with a new name, a new look, and a new kind of sizzling performance.
One of the guys said the Starliner's the hottest car Ford's ever made.
Yeah, but look at that car up there. I bet a Ford like that could hold all kinds of good stuff.
That's the new 9-passenger country sedan, Beaver. It's wider and roomier, and all seats face forward the way they should.
Did you know that Ford's built more station wagons than anybody, Beef?
Gee, Wally, you should know a lot about Ford.
Hey, there's one even a little squirt like you ought to recognize.
Sure, that's a Thunderbird.
Sure is.
It's the dream car of the wonderful new world of Fords, the 1960 Thunderbird, luxury leader of the fine car field. And now here's the new size Ford, the Falcon, built to carry 6, powered for America's highways, engineered to deliver up to 30 miles a gallon. The Falcon's suggested price is up to $72 less than its rear-engine competitor, the easiest car in the world to own.
In all my whole life, I never knew there were so many Fords.
I didn't either when I was your age.
Hey, Wally, let's go and look at some more, should we?
Sure, Beef.
Why don't you come in, too?
Hey, how do you like that, huh? Alrighty then. The old Beav and Wally selling 1960 Fords. It's so sad the way that the Thunderbird went from a 2-seat sports car to a sedan. They still looked cool for a while, but here's another interesting from Mackenzie's.
Isn't it interesting how things start making a lot more sense? Minnesota is now dealing with massive fraud scandals, like millions gone, federal investigations, pure chaos, right? And then you look back and you start thinking about June 2025, when Melissa Hortman, the only Democrat in Minnesota, votes against funding healthcare for illegal immigrants, and she is assassinated 4 days later. At what point are we allowed to say, that's one hell of a coincidence? Oh, and the killer. You must be asking about the killer. Previously appointed to a state board by who? You guess. Tim Walz. You want to tell me that's not suspicious? You have a lawmaker who breaks party ranks. You have a state drowning in fraud. You have overlapping political connections. You have a political assassination. And you want to tell me that I should just shut up about all of that? I'm not asking you to believe what I'm saying. I'm just asking you to ask the right questions. If this was happening in a red state, oh my gosh, Netflix would already have a documentary about it set up and ready to go. But the media is not on our side. So what I'm asking you here is just to keep talking about this, keep sharing these videos, and let's get to the bottom of it, because this is truly disgusting. Isn't it interesting how things start making a lot more sense? Minnesota is now dealing with
and Peggy Dancer's in the house. Peggy Dancer, hi. Weiss123 Catherine, Skylark 74, Corona Viewer, buying. And I said, hi, I kept 78 pack, Peggy Dancer. Yeah, isn't that something? And that Bolter guy, the shooter, when he wrote out like a admission letter when the police got him, and he said that Tim Walz told him to shoot Amy Klobuchar so he could have the Senate seat. He could appoint himself. Yeah. Why haven't they arrested? If a Republican governor had the same circumstances, they'd be arrested by now, wouldn't they? I mean, I just don't get it. I think if you want to be a criminal, be a Democrat, and you can be a criminal, it seems like. But hopefully that stops at some point. Breitbart. Walz resignation movement surges. Minnesota state Republicans have called for Democrats Party icon governor Tim Walz, Democrat, to resign over billions in dollars in fraud. He won't. He's a retard. He'll never do that. The fraud in Democrat states will floor you. Oh, yeah. Let's listen to this guy.
If you guys think the Somali fraud in Minnesota is bad, buckle up. Because you still haven't looked at the fraud in Illinois, the fraud in California, the fraud in New York, and the fraud in Oregon. Oh, and the fraud in Maryland, and the fraud in Washington. Actually, you know what? Forget the list. Just check any Democrat-run state in America. And yes, there's a reason they have refused to send in the data that the Trump administration has requested when it comes to government benefits. Fraud doesn't like the daylight. If you guys think the Somali fraud in Minnesota is bad, buckle up.
Buckle up, Buttercup. That's right. Just think, if we didn't have fraud, we'd have gleaming cities with monorails everywhere, right? Would we? And underground barracks for in case if a disaster happens, we could just retreat to it, like every citizen in Russia has. This is interesting. They always give him guff about improving the White House and doing this to the White House, but he's improving it.
Oh, millions of dollars, yeah. Well, I also give a lot of money to the White House. The White House is, as you know, I give my salary, and I usually like to steer to the White House because this house was a little bit abandoned. First of all, for 4 years, you had a guy walking around that didn't know where the hell he was. And this house was not taken care of the way it was supposed to be. I take very good care of property. I was very good at that. And you'll notice the floors downstairs, I paid for them. Marble, the most beautiful marble you've ever seen. The white floors down in the palm room, they look like they came out of, I don't want to lose because they're big supporters of mine, Home Depot. So I'm not going to say bad, but they did come out of a box from Home Depot about 30 years ago. They were all broken, but now they have the most beautiful floors, the most beautiful lights and chandeliers. I think most of you, Brian, you've seen that, right?
Yes.
How beautiful is that? And I take care of it. So, I spend millions of dollars on this building, taking care of it. It was not properly maintained, and now it's starting to gleam like it should. It should really gleam, and you should go down and visit the Presidential Walk of Fame. Have you seen it? It's quite good. I'm sure that a lot of people coming to the White House, it's hot. It's very hot, but it's really a tribute to the presidents, past presidents of our country.
Like the Autopen president. Yes. So funny. Oh, man. Oh, what's this? Oh, daycare center. Oh, temporarily closed till forever. No kids allowed. Oh, but they're counting the cash, aren't they? They got one of those Tim Walz Somali daycares where they just rake in the bucks. Wow. Oh, let's see what's this. What's this? Number of children. Elon Musk has 14 children. Somali Quality Learning Center, 0. Wow. Elon's a more legitimate daycare than they are. And, how do you like that? Astronaut Neil Armstrong talking about his moon landing experience. Now listen to this. By the way, I do believe that we did go. And listen to this.
That when you were on the moon, you had very little time for gazing upwards. But could you tell us something about what the sky actually looks like from the moon? The sun, the earth, the stars, if any, and so on?
The sky is a deep black when viewed from the moon, as it is when viewed from cislunar space, the space between the Earth and the moon. The Earth is the only visible object other than the sun that can be seen, although there have been some reports of seeing planets. I myself did not see planets from the surface, but I suspect they might be visible. The Earth is quite beautiful from space and from the moon. It looks quite small and quite remote, but it's very blue and covered with white lace and of the clouds, and the continents are clearly seen, although they have very little color from that distance.
What about the sun? Do you see any trace of the corona?
No, the glare from the sun on the helmet visor was too difficult to pick out the corona. To time we could see the corona was during an eclipse of the sun from the moon. That is, when we were flying through the moon's shadow and could observe the solar corona peeking out from behind the moon.
Looking at the photographs that you brought back, the colored photographs of the moon's surface, it seems that the color of the surface actually varies according to the angle from which you see it. Is this so? Does it do this?
Yes, it certainly does. It's a characteristic that we observe first while traveling around the moon in orbit. You could see that at the terminator, at the boundary between the black part of the moon and the lighted part of the moon, it was as if you were looking at a television set with the contrast turned to full contrast, very black and very white. As you moved further into the light, there were more and more shades of gray. But as you moved further, such the sun was higher above the horizon, you actually start to see the tans and browns appear, although at a very low level. Similarly, on the surface of the moon, the same characteristic is evident. You can see browns if the sun is high enough. Apollo 12, for example, landed while the sun was only 5 degrees above the horizon. So when they arrived, they saw no browns or tans anywhere, only fairly high contrast grays.
But you did?
But yes, I did. The sun was at 11 degrees. And Apollo 12 did also the next day when they arose from their sleeping.
Mr. Armstrong, I do realize.
So isn't that interesting? I don't think I've ever seen that interview before, but from that interview, I would say, yes, he was on the moon. I mean, that's just my opinion. Yes. Neil Armstrong. I wonder which one of his arms was stronger. Representative Brandon Gill, great guy, very good sense of humor too, says Somali migrants are draining taxpayers and should be sent back. 81% are on welfare. They aren't self-sufficient and they don't assimilate. Why in the world would we allow them to stay? And my question there too is, they're not self-sufficient. They're taking billions of dollars and they still can't make it. Of course, they take that, they squirrel it away into big suitcases and go right over to Somalia and buy a village over there or whatever they're doing. Who knows? Nobody knows. They're doing something with it, and it's not right. Oh, this is good. My wife is sick in bed and asked for plain toast. I hope she enjoys it. It took a while to make. Plain toast. But you said plain toast, honey. Why are you yelling at me? Why are you throwing things at me? Oh, come on. Have a sense of humor. Pretty good, huh? I like it. There you go. Plain toast. When you ask for plain toast, that's maybe what you're going to get. I like that. Thanks, dad jokes. Look at that, dad jokes right there. Oh, look. It's important to use filters correctly. Here's a photograph, of course, without a filter. And here, of course, is a photograph with the filter. And, of course, you can see the filtered photo is a much better photo. Adds that gleam to her face right there. See, a filter can really enhance a photo. So always use a filter when photographing. Oh, yeah. Oh, may we have full disclosure in 2026. I would hope that would be true, but I think there's a lot of things that they never want to tell us, but that can't stop us from correctly guessing over and over and over for 80 years like we have been. Democrats hired 87,000 IRS agents to go after American taxpayers. Republicans hired 20,000 ICE agents to go after criminal illegal alien freeloaders who steal billions of our taxpayers' dollars. Who is doing it better? I think the Republicans this time did it better, don't you think? And there's my memory 7 years ago. Happy New Year, everybody. There's the little casino they had put together there for for that little gig. It was pretty fun. Fun little gig. And there's a Rat Fink himself saying Happy New Year. Look at him. Look how happy he is. He's got all those flies around him. That's the Rat Fink. It's creation of Ed Big Daddy Roth, personal friend of my brother's. How do you like that? Alleged former Area 51 employee Bob Lazar on UFOs and disclosure. Let's check it out. We always like hearing from Bob Lazar.
I don't know why they keep the information about the aliens hidden. Previously they said, well, it would cause panic and upset people, but I don't believe that holds true anymore. And I can see why they keep the technology secret. That's, obviously military, but I really don't know why they don't come clean and tell us. I think they're just on a completely different level. You never take the time to stop and try and talk to an anthill. I just think they're just in a completely different level, and we're something to observe. Why don't they just release information that these events occurred and they can keep the technology secret? That I've never understood, so I'm with you on that. The scope of the project was to see if we could duplicate the technology with available materials. And the bottom line of the whole project was we couldn't.
There was an extremely classified document dealing with religion. That were containers. That's how supposedly the aliens look at us. That we are nothing but containers. Containers. Maybe containers of souls. You can come up with whatever theory you want.
I don't know why they keep the information about the aliens.
Well, the reason they don't do that probably is because if you give them a little crumb, they'll want more. They'll want to know what technologies we've gleaned. They will. They'll go to the next thing. Okay, we got that. Now we want this. But if they should just come clean. They should just come clean. Oh, did you know this? Fun fact about Young Frankenstein from 1974. Oh, great film if you want to laugh. Check it out.
Did you know that Mel Brooks and the cast of the 1974 classic Young Frankenstein reportedly had so much fun and were so upset when filming was about to be completed that Brooks actually added scenes just so they could continue shooting? Did you know that Mel Brooks and the cast...
They had a lot of fun. You could tell they were having fun. What a fun movie to be involved in, huh? Here's a sad, sad note. Humble gardener, Tatiana Schulzberg, dead after a cancer battle. JFK's granddaughter was 35, and JFK was the 35th president. She has that Kennedy look. That's so sad. That's just tragic. This is not anything but tragic. This is fantastic. Of course, this is a 1968 Camaro in such a cool color. Look at that. Wow. And I think this is a Z28. Is that what it says? Look at that. I think the 68s, a friend of mine in high school, we called him Merpa, Brian Clare. He had a jet black, flawless 68 Camaro. I mean, it was unbelievable. These cars, 68, man, there's something about that 68 Camaro. I had a 68 Firebird. Same body, same coolness, I had a 400 with a 4-speed. Man, was that thing fast. Got fourth gear rubber out of that thing. And this is no different. Look at that car. They could just bring that back exactly like that, and it would sell. It would totally sell. I know the new ones are sort of designed after that era, but they could bring that back as is. And there you go. This is great. Trump is the biggest troller of them all. I think he's going to get on the cover of Trolling magazine. He's got the cover for someone make the magazine, Trolling magazine, and put him on the cover. Okay. So Governor Tim Walz blames Trump amid his fraud scandal. This was Team Trump's response. This was Trump's response to Governor Walz blaming Trump amid his fraud scandal. Blaming Trump. Here's what here's his one of his latest posts. It's all blurred out except the seriously retarded governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, does nothing either through fear, incompetence, or both. And that's their response. So good. Oh, what did we do to deserve such a good president and such a funny guy and such a troll? Man, he trolls in the right way. All right. Got to catch my breath after that one. From Bongino Inc., huge FAFO HHS secretary RFK Jr. drops a nuke on Somali fraud, cuts off all child care payments to Minnesota effectively immediately. We have frozen all child care payments to the state of Minnesota. We have turned off the money spigot and we are finding the fraud. Oh, yeah. That's excellent. That's excellent. Oh, and here is this woman. Let's check out what she has to say. This is hilarious, by the way.
How do you say snails in German?
Schnecken.
What about scare?
Schrecken.
And taste?
Schmecken.
And slime licking?
Schleimschleckende.
So how do you say the slime licking snails scare terribly after sloppy licking and tasting?
Schleimschleckende Schnecken. Schrecken schrecklich nach schlabberndem Abschlecken und Schmecken.
How do you say snails in German?
Schnecken.
What about scare?
Schrecken.
And taste?
Schmecken.
And slime licking?
Schleimschleckende.
So how do you say the slime licking snails scare terribly after sloppy licking and tasting?
Schleimschleckende Schnecken. Schrecken schrecklich nach schlabberndem Abschlecken und Schmecken.
How do you say snails in German?
Schnecken.
Oh, that is so funny. Oh, my goodness. Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Ever wonder how they did the Chipmunks recordings? Well, here you go. The magic is about to be spoiled for you. Take it away.
Have you ever wondered how they made this song? Well, whether you love it or you hate it, it's actually a really interesting story. So the song was recorded in 1958 by Ross Bagdasarian, also known by his stage name David Seville. The story goes that him and his family were kind of down on their luck, but he spent his last $200 on a reel-to-reel tape recorder for his home studio. And he realized after experimenting with the tape speed that if you slow down to half speed, record a vocal take, and then speed it back up to normal speed, you end up with this high-pitched, squeaky voice. And I won't get too into the nerdy science of this, but the song would have originally been recorded in A-flat major, and tuned down to 50% speed, it's still in A-flat major, just an octave down. So if we open the song in Logic and we slow it down to 50% speed, we can hear exactly what it would have sounded like when Ross was recording it.
Christmas, Christmas time is near.
That is so crazy. So he would have recorded the instrumental track at normal speed and then slowed it down, added his vocals, and then sped it back up to normal speed for the final version. And that's why if you listen to the song, the instruments sound normal, but the vocals sound high-pitched. This song won 3 different Grammys at the first ever Grammy Awards, and it was even nominated for Record of the Year. One guy took the technology he had available to him, he used it in the wrong way, and he built a franchise that's still relevant enough that we're talking about it 70 years later. And you can follow for more music tech stories like this one. Have you ever wondered how they made this?
Interesting, huh? That's so cool. Innovation. Oh, this is great. School of Life. Oh, watch this kid. Kid versus shovel. Who do you think's gonna win? Oh, no.
And here we go, round 1. Kyle and the shovel squaring off here. You can see the shovel is very quick. And Kyle is showing some very good head movement here in the stand-up game. Now throwing low leg kick and dodges that nice overhand right by the shovel. And now the shovel, oh man, and another big left. Now the that lands into the dome of Kyle. Kyle gets dropped and dropped once again. And I think that is an illegal blow to the back of the head. And here we go, round one. Kyle and the shovel squaring off here. You can see the shovel is very quick. And Kyle is showing some very good head movement here in the stand-up game. Now throwing low leg kick and dodges that nice overhand right by the shovel. Yeah, the shovel. Oh, man, and another big left. Now the haymaker that lands into the dome of Kyle. Kyle gets dropped and dropped once again. And I think that is an illegal blow to the back of the head. Oh, another illegal. And
this is so funny. Oh my goodness. The shovel is winning. Yes. Shovel always wins. Never play that game with the shovel. I learned that years ago. Kid versus shovel. WWE winner is Kyle the Kid. Oh man. Nothing like a good laugh on New Year's Eve. Huh? Oh boy, you can rewind that and watch that all night long. I know I'm gonna. Oh, look at this. If you grew up in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, chances are you had these. Oh, you mean one of these? You mean one of these? Is this what you're talking about? Oh, yeah. My brother gave me this last year, the year before for Christmas. Isn't that cool? The Corningware percolating coffee pot. And, you know, my mom has one just like this. My brother gave that to her too. And when I go visit my mom, she puts on this coffee. And the smell that you get from this percolating coffee pot, it just fills the air with beautiful coffee aroma like no modern coffee maker can possibly do. This is the best for that smell, that wonderful smell, the smell that really smells good. Very good. So that's I haven't gotten the filters for it. They discontinued the filters. My mom has some, but anyway, yeah, don't you love it? All of those were recalled, by the way, because the chrome came disconnected from so that's why they're even more rare now. So if you find one, buy it. Buy the whole set if you can. He was determined but outclassed. We the kid and the shovel. Skylark says, I remember them, but I don't remember the brand name. Okay, Corningware. That teapot looks very familiar. I think it's Corningware. Let me check. Yeah, Corningware. Says it right on the back here. Corningware. See, Corningware. 9-cup. 9-cup coffee pot. And I'm telling you, when it's percolating, the whole kitchen just smells like the best coffee. I think it just brings out the aroma like no other. The coffee maker I can't stand are those Keurig coffee makers where they shoot jet hot, super scathing hot water into a thin plastic polystyrene container with the coffee, and the coffee tastes just like plastic because that plastic is off-gassing to that hot liquid water being put in. And I can't drink that Keurig stuff. It tastes like plastic to me. I don't know how anyone can drink that. Anyway, oh, did you know this? Oh, classic movie hub. 58 years ago today, on December 29th, 1967, the Star Trek episode The Trouble with Tribbles aired for the very first time. And it was a great, funny episode. It was a hilarious episode. You got to go check it out. I may still have one of those. Oh, she's going to tell me. She was going to tell me to take the thing off. But now I got another one up there. Oh, Peggy Dancer, I had the whole set, but sold, sadly. Aw. Well, but you made someone very happy. And you got your use out of it. Right? All righty then. Oh, look at this. You wonder why I don't go swimming. Look at that. I think I'll pass. Thank you, though. Swim in poo. No thanks. Yeah. I'll wait till they clean it. Yeah, I'm not going to swim in poo. Look at that. That's so funny. Someone had some white paint and they made a joke, or else the letters just kind of fell off one day and it got too hot. I don't know. Laura John Donani, Facebook Conservatives, puts this out. No networks, no teleprompters, no agenda. Just one independent journalist on X, a hoodie, and the willingness to actually look. Exposing the truth. Keep going, Nick Shirley. Nice meme there. Shane Morgan. Absolute legend. Yes. And what's this from Paul Aikinen? COVID-19 deaths before and after mass vaccination program in Taiwan. Look at that. Well, there was hardly any leading up to it. The red, here's where the jab started. Oh, look at that. Oh, now we got a lot of deaths. Gee, do you think it was from the jab? All in the red there. I think it's from the jab, folks. Yeah. They tried to kill us all off, folks. We're so lucky that they didn't do it, that it didn't succeed. They did kill a lot of us, and that was, they should pay the price. Statute of limitations has not run out on that, so we can get them sooner than later. And Trump puts this out. Any artist canceling their show at the Trump Kennedy Center over political differences isn't courageous or principled. They are selfish, intolerant, and have failed to meet the basic duty of a public artist to perform for all people. How do you like that? I like that. Very good message. There's that same thing again. Look at me. I operate daycare centers now. Yes, you do. Now, I don't know about this story. If it's true, wow. Scientists 3D printed a living, beating human heart using only the patient's own fat cells. The lab-grown organ has real chambers, blood vessels, and contracts on its own. No donor needed. No rejection risk. Shouldn't they make it out of muscle instead of fat? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. But if they did that, that's pretty amazing. Scientists at Tel Aviv University. Oh, over there in Israel. Person's own fat cells. Oh, and here's Nick Shirley again. Inside of Minnesota, there are tons of healthcare companies that are operating fraudulently as they receive money from the government for carrying out services that they don't do. Let's watch this. Up.
Right here, you have a list of all of the healthcare companies. Loads of them right here. We want healthcare. Yes, we'd like to speak about getting healthcare here. Why can't I get healthcare here? Wait. Warning, you are under video surveillance. No trespassing, security armed. This is the strangest place I've ever been to get healthcare. Just a bunch of different places. Healthcare here, healthcare right here. Another healthcare company right here. There are 3 healthcare companies inside of this building right here in this room of 7C. Now we have another Helping Hands Home Care LLC, another healthcare company. Present Help right here. We're looking for the best rates of healthcare here inside this building because we have so many options. Who can we talk about getting the best healthcare?
I don't know.
No?
Sorry.
All right. We will not get any healthcare here. David, this is one of the stranger places I've ever been. Literally, healthcare every door you go to, yet nobody will give you a rate. How much money do you think has been funneled through this building?
Every year, I would say 50 to 60 million at least.
And finally, we were accepted into one of the daycare centers, and they actually took down our information to give us a rate. However, when we left, we were then met with the police.
We received a complaint that, gentlemen, matching your description, we're in this building harassing the individuals who stay here.
Oh, we're checking out the rates for healthcare because there's 14 healthcare companies inside this building. So,
okay.
Well, that's not what he said. He said there's 14 companies here, and he's trying to assume because they're Somali providers, everyone here is fraudulent.
Okay.
So
He's here with some kind of like propaganda.
No, we're just checking.
No, this is a area that we're allowed to enforce trespassing ordinance. Is there any other reason that you guys are here?
Well, we were checking rates.
No, he's not.
We were checking rates. We asked for rates.
No, you're not.
Okay. I'm gonna have, if you guys are all good, we're gonna step outside and we can continue this conversation.
All right, let's leave. So, all right, we're getting escorted out right now. The police have arrived. We were checking out the rates, seeing what was happening inside this building. No one would really speak with us. We did go inside the one daycare center, and she actually did give us rates for childcare. Much respect to that lady. What's the problem, officer?
Well, so again, we've been getting reports from multiple individuals that you guys were harassing individuals who work here. At the end of the day, this is private property, and it's one that people are allowed to ask you to leave, and it's also one the Minneapolis Police Department is allowed to enforce trespassing ordinance at this address.
Right here, you have a list of all of the...
Well, there you go. That's how they do it. Anyone comes asking questions, they just call the cops. The cops are protecting the fraudsters. It's pretty sad, I tell you. And this is interesting. Talking about the Roswell crash. ET's Among Us. I think it's some Gaia show. Watch this. Oops.
Craft crashed in Port Girardeau, Missouri. The local townspeople saw the crash, came upon it, and pulled out the pilots. And these were such good Christian, God-fearing people that even though they recognized that the pilots were foreign, they called a minister to come and administer the last rites to these poor creatures. And a certain Reverend Hoffman was called, and he took off. He met the chief of police, and he saw the body of an alien. And so the Army came in and took over the scene. They took the craft. They took the body. That was 1940. In 1947, we all know about the Roswell crash, but there were two other crashes that year, one in Kingman, Arizona, and an earlier one that occurred in April. These crafts were recovered. So this resulted in a spurt of activity to reverse engineer these craft. There was an official investigation that was called Project Sign. This was the first investigation into the Roswell crash. And the conclusion of Project Sign was that we were being visited by people from outer space that had a higher level of civilization and technology than we did. But when this report arrived in Washington to the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Hoyt S. Vandenberg, he said, "We cannot accept this conclusion. Write another paper." And so that paper was quashed, and Project Grudge was initiated, which evolved into Project Blue Book in order to keep track of UFO activities, UFO interaction with human beings, and at the same time to cover it up, which is what Project Grudge and Project Blue Book were primarily assigned to do. Catalog all the UFO events, the sightings, the landings, the evidence, procure it all, silence the witnesses. And so that went on for a very long time. However, during the same period of time, UFO activity increased throughout the United States, and it's well known that they have had incursions into our military bases, our nuclear facilities. that they track nuclear submarines and that they have a very great concern with nuclear weapons and what human beings intend to do with them. So some of them are guardian angels, and then others are not such guardian angels. Some of them were obviously during the 1950s and 60s trying to lure the United States and the Soviet Union into war with each other.
No, you don't have any proof of that. I don't think humans need any help fighting each other. I have a long history of that. Gaia. I don't really like Gaia. I thought I might years ago, but Shirley's work has helped show Americans the scale of fraud in Tim Walz's Minnesota. AG Pam Bondi announced the DOJ has been investigating Minnesota's daycare fraud for months with nearly 100 individual charges, 85 Somali descent. Yes. So most of them were Somalis. How do you like them apples? Elon, exactly. X-Freeze. You literally can't find a single mainstream article about the Minnesota fraud. Not even one. Imagine that. Just imagine that. Let's see. What's this? You can't afford another kid because childcare is so expensive, but Somali fraudsters got millions of your taxpayer dollars for childcare centers that don't exist. You can't afford a home, but 100 Somalis spend millions of your taxpayer dollars on luxury properties. It's pretty sick, huh? Daycare owners in Minnesota with no clients. Yep. Ted Cruz just put the spotlight on Nick Shirley. I guess Nick Shirley's mom also is a podcaster. She goes with on these, and she does her own show. So that's kind of cool. I think you might have seen that. Look at this. This is this weather system we have up here. No wonder we got so much. We're still getting snow. This is me right over here. Boom. Right near this base of this peninsula. That's the Door County Peninsula. And Minnesota fraud. Nick Shirley identified a single Minneapolis building housing 14 Somali-owned healthcare companies. We just saw that video. Oh, Valero just took a $1 billion loss so it can get out of California by 2026. They're fleeing Gavin Newsom's mandates, regulations, and political chaos, even at a massive cost. That's how toxic California has become. That's right. Oh, and Melissa Hortman was the only Democrat to vote against healthcare funding for illegals. Days later, she is murdered by a Tim Walz appointee. Why is nobody talking about this? What did she know that got her killed? Well, she didn't play the way he wanted her to play. So sick. Disgusting. All right. Well, that's the end of the Facebook part of the show. You know what? Let's see what time we got here. I'm going to put the StreamYard link into the chat. And if you want to call in and say Happy New Year, or what you're doing for the new year, or what your New Year's resolution is, why, you may chime in. How do you like that? I'll put this over on YouTube too. And I'll keep an eye on this area here to see if someone calls in. And if you have a New Year's resolution, mine is just to simply write 2026 instead of writing 2025. It's going to be a rough one, folks. Not sure if I can really follow that to the letter. We'll see. We'll try. We're always trying. Oh, look, it's Rose Thistle Art. She says, I'm being harassed by one of the original investors in a community out there that is connected with Colorado Air and Spaceport, CASP. I think they are ready for ROI now and trying to run everyone out. Okay. Interesting. Oh, Rose Dislard says, I have an ultralight flying low over me and the horses in the dark. That's totally legal. Wow. Well, that's too bad. Wow. Drones. Can you believe those things? Pretty strange, huh? Drones. So feel free to call in. I put the link in the chats. So if you want to call in and say, Happy New Year, why, you can. Yes, you can. Yeah, I wouldn't trust anything in Colorado. It seems like there's a lot of strange things going on over there. Right? I don't know. You guys gonna call in? Dark Brain asks. Oh, I know what we can do here whilst we wait. Cheyenne Mountain, Rose. Let's see here. Okie dokie Pinoki. So I visited with my mother, as you know. Oh, and I got some photos. Let me see. Did I? Oh, I haven't downloaded those yet. Those aren't downloaded yet. Doggone it. Okay. They're not on there yet. We'll get them on there. But I got this. So I know our friend, the BK, who I went to school with, he's been in our chat over on YouTube. And he was curious about some of my mother's birds that she carves and paints and sells. What was available? And so I have 6 of her pieces here, and with the prices on them. This is the retail price, and of course you can always pay more and give her a tip, but this is it right here. There they are. And let me see. A little chart here. So the 2 cardinals, oops, Skylark 74 is in the house. Let's get him on here.
Hello, Aaron.
Hi, Skylark. How you doing?
Okay, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, too.
I'm still here, still around.
That's awesome.
And trying to comment on that story about the Missouri UFO crash, but I don't have my book handy. That author's name, I think his last name was Smith, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
And he wrote two volumes, but he revised his volume 1 on the Mo 41 incident. It was really there's one witness whose name was used, and it was a preacher at Cape Girardeau, who was a Baptist preacher who supposedly was there as kind of a chaplain for the firemen. Whoops, dog barking.
And they buried him there in that town, but I think someone tried to dig him up, and now the grave is gone or something.
Oh, now you've got that confused. That was that Texas thing at what was it called? Aurora, Texas, from 1897, and that's sort of a that's sort of a really early one. That's one of the earliest. John Schlusser, I think, was the MUFON person who was in Aurora trying. This was back in the 70s, I believe, trying to get permission to open up the grave allegedly where an ET had been buried, and he got all kinds of flack and all kinds of pushback from local people who didn't want that incident to be publicized at all. And, it's curious too, because it would have brought a lot of tourists into that town, but nope, couldn't be done.
What do you think? What do you think of those 3-fingered and 3-toed reptilians and human-looking beings they found in Peru that are thousands of years old?
Now that intrigues me in that when I first saw that stuff, they look like fakes to me. They just look like little dolls or dummies. It was my first impression of the darn things. But since that time, there's been more examination, and the more they examine them, the more weird features they find that just don't are not consistent with it being some kind of mock-up. So I do like the tridactyl story. I'd like to see more about it. I don't have a lot of time anymore for the kind of research I like to do, and so it's complicated things. I get called away from keyboard a lot when I'm trying to listen to your show or any other show.
Oh wow!
So I get a bit of difficulty there.
Well,
So,
you're a man in demand, so that's there you go.
Evidently.
Well, it's good to be
but,
wanted.
The tridactyls intrigue me, just that they don't really. You look at the head and you sort of see what looks sort of maybe like a gray, sort of, but the rest of the body is not quite consistent. It's more like you said, the one of the Beavis and Butthead characters. I think it was Beavis, or the tall, skinny one anyway. Is what it ends up looking like more than a gray. But what the heck is it? I mean, I still don't. They don't seem to. They seem to have narrowed it down to what the thing isn't, not what the thing is.
Yeah, and all the metal implants they found in is very interesting. But I wonder if they've also maybe found some technology with them, because obviously they were high technology. If they could put metal implants in their bodies, there must be something going on there.
Well, yeah, that was something Eric von Däniken in his original writing back in I think it was the second of his books after Chariots of the Gods. I can't recall, but maybe third. He was saying there's evidence of buried structures at many of these sites in South America that have never been investigated, and he was convinced there was buried alien technology like a spaceship underground or something like that, or a vast library with golden plates and records on them, or things of that nature. Romantic sounding stuff that sounds like it comes out of a science fiction story, but reality can surprise you, and science fiction can become science fact before you know it. I mean, it's not a good thing to just deny these stories because they're weird stories. There's got to be the people advocating these views have to have some reasons. They have to sound reasonable and have some facts. And the people denying them have to sound like something other than bigots who just deny anything that sounds strange to them. Because, the universe is a very big place. It has there's undoubtedly a variety of things that have occurred, that sights, sounds, and experiences that we know nothing about, that are vastly beyond our experiences. So I am optimistic on all of these things that more will be discovered and more will be found that will be intriguing and engaging to us. It makes life worth living, makes it worth paying attention and staying awake.
I don't know. People look at those 3-fingered and 3-toed beings that they unearthed, or 1,800 or 2,000 years old or whatever they are, and they automatically go, "Oh, it's aliens." But how could that be the one thing people go to? Because there have been so many species that have risen and fallen on this planet that we don't even know about.
Well, yes, the planet's history, going back thousands of millions of years, gives you windows of time where things are possible. Things could have happened. So some of the so-called aliens could be terrestrial things that we just don't have, accounting for in our philosophy. But we're
Right.
there, and we're terrestrial. And of course, that the stuff about the structures beneath the pyramids, that brought to mind the Walton Lee Richmond book that I mentioned, the Lost Millennium book, that impressed itself on my mind when I read it decades ago, back in the late 60s when it was in print. It was a fascinating book because the author was an electrical engineer, sort of a devotee of Tesla, who had devised a system for broadcast power where the power stations would be pyramid shaped. And his plan for the main broadcast power plant would look just about the same dimensions even as the Great Pyramid. So I don't see that one mentioned by other sources. Unfortunately, Mr. Richmond was not able to convince anyone who didn't want to be convinced. But it just comes to mind. It keeps coming to mind. The stuff he said in that book could kind of fit many of these new discoveries like a glove. So that one is one that I don't get tired of recommending. If you can find it, it would be in either a used bookshop but the reprint was named Siva, S-I-V-A, ! And the republished one by Adventures Unlimited Press sometime later.
Okay.
That may still be available, but it would be a trade paperback that would be a bit more expensive than the pocket paperback. But that book was just chock full of ideas, and the author didn't have much of a plot to his story. He just poured out all this imaginative stuff, which I liked. I liked it a lot. And that's the kind of thing I look for. Trying to find these things. Most ufologists kind of plod along trying to convince you of something step at a time. And they don't jump the way that guy did from idea to idea. And of course, there's been, I get frustrated, but at the same time intrigued by the narrative of the people who think they know how a UFO propulsion system works or would work. There are people out there with ideas, and it makes a sizable list of people, many of whom have good academic qualifications, who have definite ideas that seem, they're different ideas and they must contradict each other. And unfortunately, you don't see two people working together on the same wavelength very often. But there's on the web, on YouTube at least. I don't know about Rumble, but YouTube, you can find Salvatore C. Pais, P-A-I-S. He's the guy who had 7 patents that included a patent for an inertialess space drive, a way of mass reduction that could give you UFO-like performance from a flying craft. Plus something he said could be a tabletop-sized fusion reactor. And these are strange things to be claiming, and this is sort of stuff the Patent Bureau routinely turns down as just crackpot stuff. But he had the backing of the United States Navy when he got his patents, and he's working for Space Force now. So he's an interesting character, and I keep wondering, does this correlate to the rumors we see of the so-called secret space program, which I don't know. That story intrigues me also, the secret space program. I can't find enough in print to really scratch my itch on that subject matter. but I've never seen much confirmational stuff. But the UFO sighting I had, which was maybe 15, 16 years ago, I was with my friend Alan Volova. The UFO sighting I had at the time I had it, I saw it, I thought aliens, it's got to be aliens. But secret space program stuff has me second guessing and thinking that could have been some kind of man-made craft originating from our own. Well, again, is the secret space program a secret part of Space Force, or is this something the deep state has that they've kept squirreled away somewhere that really is not a good thing for us? I would like to know more and be more certain in whatever it is I'm saying about it or thinking about it, because I don't know. The thing I saw was I'm sure some kind of electrical craft, something with electric phenomena associated with it, because it had a halo around it. It was not a meteor. It's superficially, a diehard skeptic hearing me would call it a meteor, but no, it was not a meteor. It kept its symmetric form like a torpedo shape or a flying fuselage shape while it streaked across the sky, and it had a bright orange yellow electric aura surrounding this body, and the body in the center looked metallic to me.
Wow.
That aura was very, very startling to me, because I've seen the same thing in like the vacuum tubes, like an old-timey radios, but not that kind of electric discharge is what I was seeing. And it was streaking across the sky, leaving a contrail behind it that looked like little bitty gold sparkles across the sky, drawn in a curved line, horizon to horizon. It was very beautiful.
Wow.
Just impressed itself so much on my imagination that I couldn't get it out of my mind. But is it really aliens or some secret craft, maybe based on Tesla technology, or maybe South Pais? Maybe that's what his gadget would look like put into practice. I don't know. That's the problem.
How fast was it going? Was it going?
It was faster than a commercial airline, but slower than a meteorite.
Okay.
My impression was it was accelerating. It was like leaving the Earth, is what I thought I was seeing.
Wow.
And of course, Michael Sala on his website has said that there's some sort of secret underground base of the Space Force or something near Huntsville, Alabama. And of course, I was wondering if that could have been where this thing originated. This trajectory was a path from southwest to northeast along an arc, just going up the eastern seaboard and outward bound. But that's my imagination engaging with it. I can't. Of course, I didn't get it on camera. It was over before I was saying to friends who were there, saying, "Look at that! Look at that!" And they all start looking at me. They don't look up to see what's in their heads. And that's happened more than once in my life.
Yeah.
So anyway, that one had me scratching my head and looking back at old UFO books I had for similar things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think when you talk about propulsion systems, there's probably, many, if we're being visited by aliens, it's probably not just one type. And I can't imagine they all have the same. And we have Bob Lazar's testimony about how they believe that the craft they were looking at, the sport model, ran on that element 115. But yeah, could be, maybe every guess is right, because there's so many different factions looking at us and coming here.
Yeah, the variety of shapes and sizes of UFOs over the years makes this topic a bit confusing to people who are not deep into it, and also the possibilities that different alien races are visiting the Earth with different technologies and different levels of technology. Of course, the the view in that book Lost a Millennium is that author would say would question whether there were any aliens at all, that these are extraterrestrial humans from space colonies, ancient colonies, space colonies out there from the time of the Vedic writings of India. But I mean, I like that notion, but I can't defend it. If a skeptic wants to attack that idea, call it crackpot. I can't cite evidence for it other than just some odds and ends here and there, sort of thing that sticks in my mind.
We have been to another planetary body, our own moon, and only 66 years after our very first flight. So if we could achieve that in that short period of time, even back when we did it, just to imagine what a race that has millions of years ahead of us could be accomplishing. I mean,
well, millions of years ahead of us has an underlying a priori assumption that that knowledge is cumulative and that future generations will know more than we know. And of course, civilization, you can spring forward and fall back. I mean, look at the Black Plague in the 14th century in Europe, killing off a large fraction of the whole population. That's a setback. There can be setbacks, so we can't take it for granted that this sort of progress is inevitable. We cannot take such things for granted. But I keep thinking these people, Sal Pais, but also there's a critic of Sal Pais, a guy named Jack Sarfati, a physicist who teaches on the West Coast, who thinks he knows how to build a warp drive. And he's very critical of other speakers on that subject, saying they're all idiots. He knows and they don't. Very amusing, but I would like to be able to see one of these people cut metal and build something and demonstrate that they know what they're talking about. Because so far, the theoretical space drives are all just a little too darn theoretical. And I could go on with quite a list of these people and their stories. They've worked on paper, but nothing. You seldom hear of somebody cutting metal and building one. There's something called Falcon Labs that occasionally has webcast on the on YouTube that where the guy Mark Sokol is trying to build the space drive that Frederick Alzafon proposed years ago, and that was a mass cancellation concept based on the idea that gravity and inertia could be properties that are determined at the subnuclear level. So if you can use microwaves to manipulate the individual atoms at that level, you could control gravity and inertia and cancel them out, or at least cancel them out on the metal body of your craft. Frederick Alzafon's idea was the metal body would be like an aluminum shell surrounding your payload. You could affect this aluminum and cancel its mass and get an object that you could accelerate to a very, very high rate of speed, like with zero resistance. So you need two space drives. You need the Alzafon basic mass canceling component to cancel out the weight of it, and then something like a really small rocket or a magnetic propulsion that would be very effective once the mass was gone. And that what intrigued me was, of course, Alzafon passed away in 2012, but his son wrote two books defending, well, three, but two books that are in print that defending his father's idea, David Alzafon. And he was applying this idea to the Socorro, New Mexico disc, the Socorro, New Mexico big white egg UFO that the patrolman Lonnie Zamora saw. Because the egg had a rocket motor that fired when it lifted off, but then the motor but then it hovers, and then it just, once it's clear of the ground and distance up, it just zooms off out of sight and like very, very rapidly without it being rocket propulsion. So the idea is that this thing was canceling its mass and raising itself up to get clear of the ground, because the mass cancellation effect is not going to work if you're grounded. So it gets clear of the ground with a conventional rocket motor, and then when it's got its mass fully canceled, it engages something else, and wow, off it goes, off to outer space or wherever. And that idea, it fit, that the observed behavior of the UFO fit the model of Alciphon propulsion very closely, according to David Alciphon in the book. That his analysis of that impressed me. I liked it. I'd recommend the book. But,
Okay. Yeah, you've talked about him before. So.
Yeah, I've talked about Alciphon, and then the conspiracy theorist Joseph Farrell has several times referenced the German guy Burkhard Heim, who's had a complicated and long concept of new physics, which would include proposals for how to get anti-gravity. And some devotees of Heim say that you can apply Heim's theory to get the science fiction hyperdrive, go faster than the speed of light. Well, that's an idea I would love if I understood it well enough. But
I think
time is complicated.
I think the key to understanding and developing antimatter is to incorporate, which no one has done yet, uncly matter, not just antimatter.
Okay. Yeah, cousin matter and brother sister matter.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
how
right.
far that could go.
So, what do you think of this picture I have? It's from the old Gulf Breeze, Florida.
The Gulf Breeze thing,
What
I've
do you
seen
think of
that debunked. Now, supposedly, the guy responsible for these sightings, I forgot his name, it was years ago, but
Yeah.
supposedly in a house where he lived, somebody found a paper model of a UFO up in the attic that looked like the thing in the photograph there. And that's caused debunkers to say the whole thing's just fake, phony as a $3 bill,
Could be.
supposedly. Now, I've seen people attempt to debunk the debunkers, but so I don't, I don't jump to a negative conclusion, because I think these debunkers are just a little too militant for my taste. I don't like them, but I like it when they're proven wrong. But that's what's been said about Gulf Breeze. Now, it would help. I understand there have been other people who have correlated some of the Gulf Breeze sightings, and that helps settle it as being a real UFO event. But I don't remember back that far as to who it was who was saying that it was right, that this guy was in the right. And I'd be more satisfied with that if it didn't look so much like that paper model they found.
Well, but now the government, or whoever's keeping this all quiet, secret government, might go to the lengths of making a paper model and planting it. Or this guy might have been so curious about the shape, maybe he tried to reproduce it to see.
That's been said also, that let's see, one of those cases, somebody was trying to make their own model of the thing they said they saw, which opened them up to that sort of petty criticism. But I can't recommend the details of that either. So one of the contactees, I think, back in the day, I find it frustrating that there aren't many cases that have good physical evidence like that from a witness.
You know what? You can sort of see a face right here. So sometimes I wonder, is this a lamp fixture reflecting on the window?
Yeah, or he's photographing something through a window, and the thing could be real, and it could still be picking up reflections. That's you never know. It's hard to tell without a real detailed analysis of what you're seeing. But Gulf Breeze, my understanding of that, and I could be mistaken, that the Gulf Breeze events did not hold up to the test of time. The Gulf Breeze book that was published at that time, I've got a copy somewhere, but it's out of print now. And no one is urging it be reprinted and circulated widely now. Maybe that's a mistake, but it's been my understanding. Gulf Breeze was a kind of a one-of-a-kind event. I don't recall it really correlating with other witnesses' experiences, so I was left less than impressed by it, not really convinced by it.
Yeah.
When they found that model, that was just sort of a clincher for me. I lost interest because I just didn't want to get into arguments about it.
Yeah, it just, I guess, much like the several photos that gentleman took of Nessie that were a plesiosaur. Every scientist, that's the fin of a plesiosaur, and then he never made public the negatives, just only reprints of certain pictures.
Well, yeah, the real classic, the Loch Ness Monster picture that got published everywhere as the standard image of the Loch Ness Monster for years and years. It was from I think 1920s or 30s, but supposedly that was a fake made with a toy submarine,
Right,
model of a toy submarine.
Right, because in between all these pictures that were deemed legitimate and not phonied were other pictures of him putting it in the water. And yeah, so that's why he never showed the negatives, because he couldn't.
Yeah, that sort of fraud is always seems to always be occurring, and it's very annoying because you waste so much time on things like that, which could be better spent to something really mysterious. Something
Now,
really
if the Somalis were doing something like that, like creating some kind of new lake monster to sell T-shirts, that would be better than ripping off all of the childcare.
Yeah, these political bad guys. There's never much imagination to them. They're just such dull, predictable, and it's like they're dragging down our whole civilization. They're just there's not anything really entertaining or amusing about it, unfortunately. And to me, UFOs have always been the spice of life. I like wild stories about ETs and space travel and related phenomena and related subject matter. The Green Children of Woolpit book I've never discussed much, but I have discussed here.
Yes,
that was a fantastic book because this author, he was determined to prove that the Green Children of Woolpit came here from another planet, and that was a case from the 12th century AD. There's not enough factual data to let you prove such a thing, but he was determined to try, and what he did was do everything that could possibly be done to try to prove his point. And I have never seen, the name of the book was Children from the Sky. The author was Duncan Lunan, Lunan. I have never seen an author work so hard to try to prove something that can't be proven. So it's a skeptic can easily dismiss it, but so much work went into it that it impressed me, because this area of England where this event occurred is an area that is known for paranormal phenomena. It's not far from where that incident at the what was it called, not Lincoln Heath, but the Air Force Base, where they had the UFO sighting, where a bunch of base personnel saw the object land. I forgot what it was. 1981.
That was over in Rendlesham Forest.
Yeah, Rendlesham Forest incident. It's not far from Woolpit, where the Green Children had appeared in the 12th century. It's not real far, but in the same area of England, and it's an area just seems to be renowned for its paranormal events. And to me, that gives the Green Children story a certain plausibility. Now, Duncan Lunan was constructing a whole science fiction world building scenario out of it, and obviously putting a lot of work into the effort. But again, it's unproven and unprovable. But they're there. But to me, these things are a seamless whole. They will mesh together at some level if you get enough facts, is what I believe.
Yeah. And remember now, to any alien coming to Earth, we are aliens to them. So we are an alien to any alien that comes here to visit us. So we would be alien to them.
And when we assess stories of alleged ETs or science fiction stories about make-believe ETs, there's always this business of we take our systems of logic and our ways of thinking and impose it on them.
Right.
Try to see the world, try to make them like us, sort of. And I'm not sure that logic is always going to work the same way for every bit of gray matter in the universe. There's going to be different ideas about what logic is and what rationality is.
Yeah,
see, that's something about Mr. Spock that I found intriguing, that I wanted to know more about. That Star Trek would refer to Vulcan logic. Well, okay, what's the difference between Vulcan logic and Aristotle's logic? The Greek philosopher Aristotle wrote
Probably
a book
nothing.
called
Probably
Logic.
nothing, I bet.
But is it going to be? Are these ways of thinking and analyzing reality universal, or are there different ways to be logical? Because I think it was Count Korzybski wrote a whole system called Null A or general semantics, which allegedly was a system of three-valued logic that went beyond Aristotle, allegedly. But there are skeptics say that general semantics was a cult, so I don't know.
Well,
I'm just throwing it out there.
One way to unite all of us is that the knowledge of that we are all temporarians here on Earth. They're very temporary. We're all temporarians. And speaking of temporarian and how temporary time is, and boy, 2025 is slipping through our fingerprint tips, and we're going to have to call it a night. Any final words you want to give to our listeners?
Oh, well, that we're temporarians, but some people have achieved an immortality. Aristotle and Plato can live inside your head and still have their dialogues and arguments. So some have achieved a form of immortality.
True. That's very true. And I hope that you all find your version of immortality that works for you. Thanks again for calling. Skylark, always a pleasure to have you on.
Okay. I hope you live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper, yes.
And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Well, folks, that was our good friend Skylark74 coming on to the Truth Quest to share some of his incredible knowledge about all kinds of interesting things. The green people, the green kids, and all sorts of interesting stuff to ponder. And I want to wish you all a happy New Year. Let me see. I'm going to put this up here for a little graphic as we close out the show here. And let's go back over to Chatlandia and find out what people are saying. Dark Brain says, oh, great to see Skylark. 9 minutes till midnight. Oh, my goonie. And Chroniviewer says, Leo Toast. Yes, Happy New Year, Chroniviewer says. Well, Happy New Year to you all, too. And Rose Thistleart, thank you, Skylark. So good to meet you. To meet you. E-meet, I like that. E-meet. And Happy New Year, everyone, says Kathy. And Cap78 Pack says, thank you, Aaron and Skylark. Great show. Happy New Year. Peace in and much love, everyone. Look at all that. Thanks. And Dark Brain says, Skylark74, awesome call. Always so cool to hear you exposit. Yes. Roseless Lard says, Elvis Aaron. Yes. Maybe we'll end with a little Elvis song. I don't know. And Dark Brain says, Catherine, may your new year be full of blessings. Oh, isn't that nice? That's such a nice thing to say. I got to say my Happy New Year. New Year. Oops. Truth Questers. Happy New Year, Truth Questers. Look at that. Oh my goonie. There it is. Happy New Year, Truth Questers. We'll see you next year, I guess, on Friday. We're Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays because we're just on Reigns of Strange, where the outrageous is contagious and the paranormal is the new normal. Oh, and Rosas Lart says, I guess we won't see Operation Shutdown until next year. That's a possibility. I hope we do see him. And Dark Brain says, everyone have a wonderful and blessed new year. Love to all. Isn't that nice? Oops. And Catherine says, I hope your new year has many blessings too. And Skylark says, thank you, Aaron. And Skylark says, good night, fellow Truth Questers. All right. All right, folks. We'll see you on Friday. Until then, peace in, because you are the Truth Questers. Happy New Year. Oh, we were going to end it with a song. So let's see here. Just a short one. How about It's a Wonderful Life? Here it is. Okay. It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, what a wonderful life. It's a life I'm living. Oh, what a wonderful life. Living the life I lead. Oh, I got no job to worry me. No big bad boss to hurry me. It's a wonderful life. Life's good to me. It's a wonderful road. This road I'm driving. It's a wonderful road. Heading me over here. Oh, yeah. Heading me going straight on the main detour. One thing that I know for sure, it's a wonderful life. Life's good to me. I don't know where I'm going, no care where I'm going, like the fools that gonna go on. I've been there where love and been out of the way, and the moon is gone. It's a wonderful life. This life I'm living, it's a wonderful life. Live a life I love, oh yeah. Well, I've got neighbors, I've got friends, just about anywhere the rainbow ends. It's a wonderful life. Life's good to me. I don't know where I'm going, no care where I'm going, like the forms are gonna go on. I've been there where love and the night, till the moon is gone. A wonderful life. It's a life I'm living. It's a wonderful life. A life I love. Oh yeah. Well, I've got neighbors, I've got friends, just about anywhere the rainbow ends. It's a wonderful life. Life's good to me. It's a wonderful life. Life's good to me. It's a crazy life. Life's good to me. Oh yeah, baby. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Peace in. We'll see you on Friday about 9 p.m. Central. All right. Peace in and Happy New Year.